It's about an Oakland business owner who says they feel like they've been victimized twice, once by vandals and then by a city policy. That business owner is facing fines from the city from not cleaning up graffiti, or at least not cleaning it up quickly enough.
Chinatown merchants in Oakland are raising the alarm after many have been hit with thousands of dollars in fines because of graffiti on their property.
You know, I think I'm starting to have an existential crisis. I end up turning on the news each and every day looking for stuff to get angry at, and I am shocked, I am surprised that I am able to find things that not only I am angry at, but I'm also absolutely dumbfounded about. In this particular story out of the city of Oakland, one of our great cities to revisit repeatedly on this channel, we hear the tale of a business owner who is being victimized repeatedly by graffiti artists or graffitiers. I guess they're not artists unless they're good. And even though the city of Oakland is doing absolutely nothing to stop the people doing the graffiti, they've decided that they're going to make the problem worse by finding the victim of the crime for not cleaning it up fast enough. Now, the original idea behind this was you get rid of the graffiti because it's blight in the neighborhood. Law enforcement does their job and they try to go out and deter and arrest people and hold them accountable for the graffiti. But of course, post Black Lives Matter riots, post the defunding the police under the previous administration in the city of Oakland, and with Pamela Price, the previous district attorney for this area, for Alameda County, she decided that she wasn't going to prosecute anything. The mayor decided she wasn't going to send the police on this, so the graffiti has kept going up and up and up, and the business owners are still getting the fines as if that part of the deal is in effect. Basically, this is the Darth Vader, I've altered the deal, pray I do not alter it any further level of governance coming to Oakland, and it's absolute madness. And we're going to talk about this, but before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
We clean up, they come again, like that.
Shirley Liu owns Wan Key Supermarket in Oakland's Chinatown. She says taggers have been targeting her business relentlessly for the past few years.
Yeah, we clean up and then they come in graffiti again.
So without me telling you, without the hints that I gave in the thumbnail, you guys already knew that if we're talking about the Bay Area and a small business owner that is being victimized by criminals time and time again, and the city has decided to respond to that victimization by fining the victim, that it was very likely that we were dealing with an elderly Asian woman, because this is what happens in the city of Oakland. These people who commit the least amount of crime, who contribute disproportionately to society, are victimized repeatedly, and the city of Oakland has decided, for whatever reason, that they're not going to do a damn thing about it. Well, we actually do know the reasons. This was post the George Floyd effect, the Black Lives Matter riots, so they actually thought it was evil, white, and racist to hold disproportionately black males doing graffiti accountable for that graffiti, so that's why they pulled back enforcement. But again, the enforcement wasn't pulled back against her because a lot of these different left-wing areas absolutely hate the businesses. They don't realize that they're the parasite and they're actively trying to kill the host. They're that stupid. So right here, we have this woman who can't paint her place fast enough. She can't do it enough times, facing multiple different fines from the city of Oakland, because how dare she allow graffiti to go up on her property? I mean, Oakland is allowing the graffiti artists to run amok in their city. They're not doing anything about that, but it is really the fault of this elderly Asian woman who's just trying to run a small grocery store, right? Don't you guys get it? Don't you follow the logic?
Graffiti again.
Shirley says after repainting her storefront multiple times, only for it to be graffitied again the next day, she gave up trying to keep it clean. But that's when she says the city came knocking.
It's not fair. We are so much of it.
We're the victims.
We are the victims.
And yet we're being penalized.
Yeah.
So you heard it right there from the business owner herself. She decided that she was going to paint it because obviously she wants her storefront to look good. But after this happened multiple different times and she would paint her whole entire business only to have the very next day overnight it be tagged again, she decided to give up. She was like, you know what? There's no fighting this. I'm wasting a ton of money on paint. only for these people to take advantage of what they view as a blank canvas, and law enforcement is doing nothing to help me, so you know what, I'm not going to clean it up anymore because it's basically pointless to do so. Then, all of a sudden, law enforcement shows up. Then, all of a sudden, the city of Oakland has a problem because you know what? You're creating the blight by not cleaning up after the people who are actually creating the blight. It's absolute madness. So now, we're in a situation where the victim gets fined time and time again, but nothing is being changed on the law enforcement end to hold these people accountable, to deter this criminality, and to, you know, maybe make those people pay, get a little of that restorative justice for the crime that they're committing against this woman and for the cost that she has to bear in order to fix it.
Stuart Chen is the president of the Oakland Chinatown Improvement Council. He says the city sent Shirley a notice threatening to fine her if she didn't clean the graffiti.
He thought it's very unfair. She cleaned it too. After the first notice, she cleaned the graffiti. But before the city can come back and re-inspect it, the taggers came back and they tagged it again. And when the city inspector came back to check it, they saw the graffiti back on the wall and thought that she didn't clean it.
So they send her the notice. She decides in response to the notice, because she doesn't want to pay the fine, that she's going to clean it up. In between the time that these inspectors showed up the first time and the second time and she cleaned it up, they decide to show up and then they see the new graffiti, assume it's the old graffiti, and issue the fine anyway. And part of the reason why this woman doesn't want to paint it is because each and every time that she does, people say blank canvas and they tag this whole place up. And again, she is expected to pay the brunt of that. And imagine how obnoxious it is that you have people inspecting for graffiti, not for the people doing the graffiti, but for locations that have graffiti on it. They end up finding this business. They end up issuing the paperwork in order to issue a fine, and then they deploy resources and personnel in order to enforce it, all while nobody is making an arrest in the actual case of the criminals vandalizing your property.
On Tuesday, she tried to pay the latest fine of $500. The city told Lou she actually owes $3,000, which include late fees.
Not our fault. If somebody go to the roof and mark.
This is not an isolated issue. Throughout Oakland's Chinatown, business owners are reporting thousands of dollars in fines for not painting over tags fast enough.
This business owner telling us off camera that the city came and asked him to paint over this graffiti to avoid a fine. He told us he's planning to do that, but also to fence up his entire business to avoid this from happening again. But truth is, this is still happening to businesses with fences.
Close at 4 o'clock. When we go home, we cannot watch, so city have to help.
It's pervasive.
Stewart says many business owners in the area, not just Shirley, have been threatened with fines, some for thousands of dollars if they don't clean the graffiti. But he says when it comes to trying to catch and arrest the taggers, the city isn't helping.
Because I've also spoken to the police. They know who the taggers are. But they can arrest if the DA doesn't prosecute.
So here you have this representative for this particular area who goes to the police often, talks to them about this graffiti. The police say, we know who it is. We're not allowed to make the arrest, or we know some of the people that are doing it, the repeat offenders. And if we do make an arrest, the district attorney won't prosecute them. So there's no point in us engaging in this. And sorry, that's just going to be a sad day for you. And honestly, this genuinely makes me think that what we have right here is a situation where the criminals are essentially partnering with the city of Oakland in order to screw over and tax these people even more. Because think about it. If you do clean this up so frequently, you're buying paint, you're paying sales tax, that goes to the city is able to make money off of that, and the criminals come back and the cycle repeats infinitely. But if you don't clean it, then you get fined by the city, you get punished by the city, and even if you go and buy the paint in order to clean it, they don't come out to inspect often enough for the graffiti not to return in between the time that they issued the warning and then issued the fine. So it's actually a perfect partnership in order to extract money from these businesses that are already having to function under the regulatory climate and under the fee system that exists in a major city in the state of California. It's crazy. It's madness, but it is not surprising.
For the month of August, the Oakland Chinatown Improvement Council's executive director said they tried painting over every tag they saw, but then things got worse. Despite this, they're hoping to extend the painting program for a year now.
Go over the taggers and continue to put murals on. until we get to a point where we feel that we've made a significant improvement.
Now they're asking the city to take legal action against the taggers.
I won't say in prison or incarceration, but at least fine to show that there are consequences.
So look, this guy is pushing a graffiti task force. I think that's a good thing. I think that he should do that. A lot of times graffiti people are also members of gangs, so maybe there's some other additional positive downstream consequences of this. But in reality, it is very unlikely that California, that Oakland specifically, will delegate the resources necessary in order to hold these people accountable. And based on other laws that we've talked about multiple times on this channel, it's not like you could send even the repeat offenders to prison for any actual significant length of time. They have to be sent to the county jail. The county jail is often too full, so they're going to be released time and time again. But the fact is, if you just arrest them and maybe you get some fines and fees against them, maybe you force them to clean up the graffiti, that might deter it a little bit. And considering these people will clean, they'll repaint only to have their place tagged again overnight, that would actually help significantly.
Shirley says she's just hoping someone can help her because she can't afford to keep cleaning up the graffiti, and she definitely can't afford to pay continuous fines.
So sad. So sad. Yeah, it's not fair, huh? Not fair.
We did reach out to the city of Oakland for a response about those fines. It says the city is in a severe budget crisis and that there is no money to offer for business owners dealing with graffiti. Oakland code enforcement, they say, receives about 6,000 complaints every year related to graffiti and responds to all of them.
Yeah, it is genuinely sad. The woman is in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. She cannot afford to spend the hundreds and hundreds of dollars on paint every single day in order to repaint her location, not to mention the time, effort, and energy that you have to put into repainting a place or hiring somebody to repaint the place. And she also can't afford to pay the fines. The only solution right here is some damn law enforcement, but that seems like the thing that we're not going to get ever out of the city of Oakland, and it's really terrible. And they're going to lose this business, and this whole historic Chinatown neighborhood is going to be damaged significantly by all these businesses closing.
Congresswoman Latifah Simon represents Oakland. She said she called the city's interim mayor and is hopeful that after a new mayor is elected in the week of April 15th, changes will happen here.
In the first 30 days to do everything possible to address this policy and others that continue to trouble our business owners.
Now look, I will follow this story for any updates, see if that graffiti task force actually gets implemented, see if they make any actual arrests, or see if these businesses in maybe a few weeks, a few months, or a few years are completely shuttered and shut down due to poor government policy. But of course, I want to know what you guys think about all this down in the comments below. As usual, if you like this video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on my social media, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about graffiti victims being forced to pay. Till next time.